Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Victoria 3, my current addiction. We're having a great time. We are in the middle of conquering most of the Russian African holdings. I'm not going to go for this little chunk over here, I'm just going to grab this bit. And we're also, I can't remember why we started this war. Who am I even going to war with? Oh yeah, it was this little country over here. But I have so much naval supremacy that I don't even think that they can really stop me. And I should be able to push this Russian front really easily. They have a rather large military, but it's like 100 divisions of really, really low-tech stuff. I should be able to obliterate the Russians. It's the French that'll be a little bit of a problem. They have 122 battalions of trench infantry, which are significantly better on the defense than my infantry. So that'll be a bit problematic for me, but that shouldn't be a problem. One thing I'm running into is that the game definitely has a little bit of a performance issue in the late game, to the point where I'm like considering going, even going down speeds doesn't really alleviate it. If I zoom out, it gets a bit better. But I think that's totally understandable for a Paradox game, because most of the time you play on speed 5 and then you pause and you do a couple of things and you play on speed 5. So I can kind of forgive the game a little bit. It's pretty bad, but it's not unplayable for me. So if we research wargaming, we will have access to siege artillery for our barracks and conscription center. Perfect. That'll have us prepared for the next war, at least. But yeah, I think part of the problem is that my world has just like erupted in chaos. There's like people everywhere. Just going to war constantly. So maybe if I knock out a few countries, like performance will increase. That's the hope anyway, right? We do have the motor industries coming online, and the price of engines in our market has come down massively. But the problem is every time I reduce the price of one thing, the price of something else goes up massively. So it's just like, I'm playing a game of constant whack-a-mole. But you can see the game runs like perfectly smoothly if I have the timer paused. It's only when I unpause, it chugs a little, which is totally reasonable. It's a big, complicated launch game. It's gonna have a couple kinks. So, war with Buganda has broken out. Let's take a look. It looks like Russia does not know that they need to defend this front line, or else I'm missing something. I don't know what their plans are. Let's see, can we reform our government? I think I'm pretty happy with this. I guess I could theoretically bring the Imperial War Party into government. That would give me a lot more legitimacy. My GDP is kind of fluctuating. I have to imagine that's like people trying to buy and sell things, and like the prices are just like jumping around a little bit. Oh, wow. Surprisingly, this battle actually went really, really poorly for me. I guess it's just because I didn't bring enough units to bear. We're equally matched, so that might just be him being bad at fighting. But the conquest of Russian Congo is going like amazingly well. And the Eastern, I think they just don't have enough troops to actually effectively defend. Their military is crumpled. Wow, it's just such a narrow front line that we're having trouble breaking them. I think though we can burn their troops faster than they can replace. Let's have a look. Yeah, it takes them a while to replace troops, and we're killing them pretty quick, although they what do they got here? Skirmish infantry and shrapnel artillery. I just need one good battle where I can bring like my superior numbers to bear. So let's stop attacking with the guy that has a very small number of troops. We'll let the big guy try to take the punch. Oh shit, I forgot about this. Alright, what divisions do I have unmobilized? Get the hell down here if you can. Let's recruit a new general, somewhere with a good amount of units, like Japan HQ. This guy looks young and he's got a little bit of popularity problems, but that should be fine. Let's give him a few promotions, make sure he can command enough troops. Bring those 100 divisions down, my good sir. I forgot that I had a border with France. That was like a big mistake of mine. Thankfully though, they don't have war goals to take stuff from me. For Russia, we are able to burn their war goals because we occupy most of them. And now that we outnumber these guys in a single battle, we should be able to push them back. Yeah. Look. There you go. It's happening. Korea is doing an amazing job defending this front line down here. Good job, Korea. How are the enemy occupying their war goals? I'm so confused by this. Their goal is to get war reparations. How are they occupying their war goal? What? Yeah, I don't understand. What war goal do they have occupied? I don't understand where this comes from. Also, what's France doing in here? What is occupied that is... man, it would be really, really good if it would tell me like what they have occupied that's like giving them that ticking modifier against my war support. I mean, my ticking down of war support is better, so I mean, it's fine. It's fine, it's just annoying. So this wargaming, we do now have access to siege artillery. Defense in depth, 30% army defense, that's nice. We're getting now into the big late game stuff. Somehow, we still haven't conquered Buganda over here. Like, what's going on, boys? You taking your time or something? Russia, on the other hand, the conquest of Russia is going really, really well. This should start to hurt their happiness. There has been an earthquake in Kansai. Dude, 5 years, 158k per week? Dude, you're taking that devastation. Nothing I can do. Sorry, bud. Yeah, I'd love to help you, but I got a war to fight. I don't have that kind of cash to throw around. So Buganda has been kicked out. We've conquered Japanese Uganda. Perfect. So now we own a nice big old chunk of population. who will be a little bit mad, not gonna lie. But now our primary negotiating partner is Russia, and we are gaining war support faster than they are. Or we are losing it slower than they are, rather. They're losing it faster than us. They haven't really taken that many casualties, which is surprising. I guess they're just like letting us attrition ourselves against their massive, massive reserves. Oh my god. Convoy raiding. They're raiding my convoys? Oh, I didn't know they were doing that. Hold on. Protect those shipping lanes. Protect those shipping lanes. Protect those shipping lanes. So Japanese shipping lanes to the Ryukyu Islands from the UK mostly. Do I have another navy? I do not. Could I make another navy? I could. You protect the shipping lanes to the UK, please. So hopefully this will reduce their convoy raiding. I didn't realize that that was a thing. There's a whole war system I didn't even know about. Russia, you jerks. So hopefully defending our convoy lanes will help out. Even in war, our GDP increases. What a beautiful, beautiful day it is. Oh, look at that. You love to see it. Everything is starting to become cheap, with the exception of military goods. Let's build a few munitions plants. So like the quality of life my people must have must be incredible. We're number 9 worldwide, which is surprising considering how well supplied my economy is. Like everyone just has every good that they need. I don't know what I conquered that changed all these. Oil. God, I just need oil. I just need oil. I'm producing as much oil as I can in Chubu. Could I maybe upgrade them? Ooh, I could go to combustion engine derricks. This will lower the coal input, increase the engine input, and thus increase the oil output. That's huge actually. That's a lot of extra oil. Big upgrades. I've actually got so much construction capacity that like the automatic construction thing cannot fill my construction queue. Like it actually just can't fill it. It can't fill it. Everything's become exceptionally cheap except for oil. New South Wales has oil. Where do you have oil? Let me see your oil fields. Oh, it's because you're whaling. Damn. So we're still at a deficit of like 5,000 tools. God damn, how am I so low on tools? So Russia's about to surrender, which is good. I've been looking forward to that moment for a long time. The Russo-Japanese war is about to come to a close. I mean, they have a lot of divisions. I just don't know where the hell they have them. Are you in more than one war, perhaps? Is that what's going on there? No? I don't know where your troops are. They're somewhere. We're about to enforce our war demands. I'm looking forward to that. Hey, big moment there. We conquered all this underdeveloped land in Africa. That should be a nice bump to our population, a nice bump to our GDP. And now we have control of all this wonderful, beautiful land. And hopefully people will start to get paid more. Because the quality of the standard of living here was pretty bad. So there's a few secession movements. We got a little bit of radicalism. So the people here are a little bit radical. Listen, I only just took over. Give me a little bit of time. I'll build you guys some logging camps. Ooh, actually, how many peasants you got here? Oh, you guys got a lot of peasants. Let me get you those logging camps up. Let me tell you, my empire, it needs wood, but not just any wood, it needs hardwood. Ooh, we have used up a lot of that infamy right there. I think though, I'm basically potentially getting to the point where I'm strong enough that it would be very hard for basically anyone on the map to oppose me. Let's upgrade to trench infantry. That's going to be a huge boost. We're going to slowly upgrade our units. We'll like make an adjustment, build some more factories to cover our costs, then make another adjustment. Okay, this is actually a pretty big moment. We have private health insurance has just been activated. This will have a lot of really positive effects compared to what we had previously. So now people get 2%, sorry, what is it? Half a point of mortality per wealth, sorry. 1% mortality reduction per wealth. We're going to go to maximum there. So now if I go to my population and like, let's say theoretically I go to my peasants, right? We see if I can find a nice big old peasant population here to click on. Like here. Here's some Ashkenazi Orthodox peasants that are in subsistence farms in Kenya. Their mortality, right? Remember, these are some of my poorest population and they are only impoverished. Their mortality, oh, they're not benefiting from it because they're in a colonial state. God damn it. Let me click on Kansai then. Okay, so we take a look at these Japanese peasants. So their mortality is -3 from private health insurance because they are impoverished. But then if we go to, let's say, a slightly wealthier pop, like for example, these laborers, and I check them out, their mortality is -6. And I'm doubling this. So this will, in theory, be better, but especially the wealthier I make my citizens, the less mortality they will suffer from. Even clerks, right? If I go to clerks, now they're suffering like, ooh, -5% mortality. That's pretty damn good. That should be higher. Maybe am I crazy? That should be higher. I thought that maybe did they like stealth nerf that and I didn't notice? Because that used to be better if I remember correctly. All right, let's go for destroyers. Oh, I've crashed the game again. I think the game is becoming a little bit unstable. I think I'm going to play out this episode and then that'll be the end of the series. Because I think we've achieved the vast majority of our goals. but the game has just become a little bit too unstable in the last like 15 years of the game that it's hard to record and show off the game. It looks like there's a little uprising going on that I didn't notice. The Bengala succession. I wish there was like a diplomatic plays. Could I be like, okay guys, you'll have independence, but you're a puppet. Like maybe we could like negotiate like that. I think there's a lot of potential for this game. We now have access to radio production for electric industries. This will lower the amount of telephones that we make, but it'll increase the amount of radios. And I had been meaning to increase my radio production, or my telephone production anyway, but this is a good opportunity to go to my government and switch over to telephone switchboards. Now this will be a really, really expensive change. In the order of like 127,000, but it should lead to more clerks, more higher class people, better telephones, taxation capacity, bureaucracy, all that stuff. So that should be a net positive on my economy. And so speaking of that, I can finally maybe lower taxes slightly. Yeah, let's lower taxes just a smidge, just to take the burden off our people so they can buy more stuff. Put more of the money into the economy, right? And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to massively expand the electric industries. Our GDP is now double that of Great Britain, and we almost have the biggest quality of life in the world. Our literacy is approaching, we're climbing rapidly. Quality of life is ascending. Our population is ascending. We're the number 3 most populated country in the world. +1 max healthcare institution investment. That's perfect. We can now also go straight up to the maximum health system. I think this is supposed to be like 0.25 mortality per wealth. I could be wrong. But now we'll be able to get our mortality per wealth maximized so that we generally increase our population. We don't care about colonial affairs anymore, so we want to keep that low. We don't care about workplace safety so much. It's not necessary for our goals. I do like that I can just kind of ignore this. Like there's a whole bunch of problems up at the top of here. And it's like, hey, you know what? It doesn't exist. So there's a lot of hunger here for telephones. There'll be a lot of hunger for radios too, I hope. A lot of hunger for electricity, so let's get to work on expanding that. But yeah, like if you just look at the rate at which the day passes by, it's tough to sit here for this long to let this much time pass. All right, I think it's time we started looking into lowering taxes even more and paying our bureaucrats better wages. We've had things suppressed for a very, very long time. Ooh, what's this? A war between France and Great Britain that I could join? So you want to take French Panama. Okay. And you want to open the French market and liberate Brittany, and you want British war. You know what? I think I'll lean towards France here. France, offer me something, please. Do I take this opportunity to get into a war with the UK? My 700 divisions. Yeah, you know what? I support France against the UK. Yeah, look at that, fearful. Confident. He's confident. I wish I could add war goals. All right, so where do we have front lines with the UK? Mostly we care about these ones here myself. Okay, there's a little bit of chaos going on here. Don't worry about it, France. I got your back. I'm handling this theater over here. Okay, so I mobilized some guys here. I got guys heading to Africa. We're good. Take a little time for us to get there, but that should cause the UK to back down, I think. Yeah, did it work? Did they back down? They did. Everyone's afraid of me. I am the #1 superpower. No one wishes to stand against me. I suppose it's time we start integrating all of our colonies in Africa. Let's do it. Let's get it all incorporated into the land. We don't need to resettle it anymore. The people who live there can be happy and free and have all the same rights and institutions that all of the Japanese people have. It costs us a decent amount of bureaucracy and it'll take many, many years. But here's the thing, they will start to benefit from our institutions after only like a few weeks. Like if we take a look here, these guys are benefiting from the mortality per wealth thing. So let's try to find the richest pop in Japan, like these guys right here. And then if I click on them and we look at their mortality, they have basically no mortality. There's like 8 of them dying a year. That's incredible. Now granted, there's only 20,000 of them. Let's see if I can find a really big population with good quality of life. 100,000 bureaucrats. We're only 1% mortality. Hey, they're getting an 8% reduction on that one. So I think something I might need to look into is actually start paying my citizens welfare because there's not enough money circulating in the economy, which has become a little bit problematic because I've essentially created a utopia where I have like an abundance of every good, but nobody can afford to buy anything, which as you can imagine is not ideal. People need to be able to buy things. It might come as a shock. I'm just going through and fixing everything. I've been still crashing quite a bit. So I think I'm reaching the end of my rope. We are slowly but surely running out of rope. I'm not out yet, but we're getting there. We're getting to that point. So yeah, let's try to pass some social security. So welfare payments will be paid out to people who are at 40%. I think I would really like to do old age pension. Need to get the trade unions on my side. They're a little bit unhappy. Let's have a look. Can I switch straight? I could definitely go to poor laws. I mean, this will radicalize the landowners and upset my industrialists. Let's do poor laws at least. It's a step forward for our political movement, right? It'll at the very least, any of my super poor pops will get like a little bit of extra money from the government. That little bit of extra money means more goods are cycling in the economy. The more goods are cycling in the economy, the more everyone buys, the more goods are sold, the more demand there is, the more we can expand our industry. That's kind of like the logic that I'm operating under, is the more times money changes hands, the better. One question I have is, how big is my electronics industry right now? So we're overproducing telephones, which means now I feel safe to come in. I need to like change all of these guys around. What happened? I think maybe the game crashing caused like a change in all my factories or something. But if we come down to the electrics industry here, we switch to radio production. At first, this will be a big deficit, but eventually, right, this will make telephones more expensive. But when radios become in vogue, right, there's 1,000 radios available on the market and they are luxury items. Hopefully the demand for radios kicks in, and there it is, instantaneous demand for radios kicking in, thus rapidly increasing the GDP of my country, because radios are a type of luxury item, a very, very advanced luxury item. We do have arc welding now, so we could go for arc welded buildings. Compression ignition, we could go for the diesel engine. Super late game, we don't have access to oil though, we don't have enough oil. Just not enough oil. We're not using our construction capacity at maximum efficiency. Got a huge electrical imbalance. I guess we just keep building electric plants. So that'll deal with that. How's our coal supply? Because we are burning coal in those. Well, coal's cheap right now, so that's fine. Could use more engines. We're also a little bit low on iron, so let's go ahead and keep expanding these iron mines so we can keep that really satisfying roll going. We'll do this. And now we got a production queue that lasts about 47 weeks. I'd like to get to 1 billion GDP before the game is over. That'd be kind of cool. We're up to 10 GDP per capita. I would really love to do, what would be really, really fun is if you had like a mod that like annexed the entire world into a single country, and it was like a challenge run where you tried to make the most like utopian economy ever. Like, is there even enough resources for everyone? So it looks like there's a revolution going on. What do they want to do? They want to enact the right to assembly. They want to roll back the laws, basically. They'll have 300,000 troops. Which places will be going independent? These 3 areas will go independent. I'm fine with that. Also, look how urbanized Japan has become. It's kind of insane, really. It's like a little plague of industrialization. We are now the 3rd highest quality of life in the world. Only Cambodia, Württemberg, and the Württembergian Liberal Revolt is beating us. So there is poor laws. Now, this is going to cause a huge burden on the government in the form of welfare payments. However, my hope is that welfare payments are actually like a net good for the economy. It means people have more money to spend. I think I don't care about this revolution. I will just let them. We'll suppress that revolution violently. It's been a while since we've had a nice revolution, you know, we could deal with it. Wait a minute. A lot of munitions plants and arms industries here. How angry are they? 57. We could in theory maximize our innovation even more, but I'm not too worried about it. It seems to me that no matter how much electricity that I produce, people just demand more of it. Or at least my industries do. Did I ever unlock cars? Oh, I did. Let's start automobile production. It's a lot of oil. I don't know if I can afford that much oil. Jesus, what is happening to you, America? Calm down. There's like another revolution going on there. How are you losing money? Electricity is like super expensive right now. How are you losing money? I'm curious, are any of the workers in this factory getting wage subsidies? So they're getting their basic wage, they're getting their dependent's wage. So no subsidies in here. What about in these lead mines? No, people are fine. How about in my arable land? My welfare payments, who is that actually going to though? Is it just wasted profit? Well, I didn't know subsistence buildings wasted profit, so let's get that handled. I want no subsistence farmers on mainland Japan anymore. I'm building all of the arable land buildings, even if they don't really have much of a use, just so that they have jobs and the arable land goes away. I don't want people work on this arable land. Oh, we have a little bit of a bureaucratic shortfall. Let's get that sorted. We're very, very close to getting to level 5. healthcare. Now, I do have the option to start increasing welfare payments, but I don't know where those welfare payments are going. That's the thing I'm confused about. But my hope is that by massively building agricultural stuff in this country, in this county, it will obliterate the peasant population in the sense that there won't be peasants anymore, right? You can see the peasant population is rapidly yeeting down. And thus, it means this inefficiently producing building, the unused arable land, it will stop producing as much stuff, right? Wasting all that profit. And then the hope is those people who are now drawing a real wage in a real building, they'll start to demand goods, bringing up the price of all these manufactured goods. So that's kind of the hope that I'm pushing for right now. But my God, performance is rough. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this series here. We're I would say, not that long away from getting a billion. You know what? Let me wait for the billion. God, wouldn't it be really funny if I switched to Council Republic right now? It would allow me to switch to worker cooperatives, right? Hold on. Now, worker cooperatives means that we no longer have capitalists and the workers get the profits. Which I think might mean that they actually buy more goods overall. Could this mean actually larger amounts of goods being bought in my country? You know what? We're in the late game. Let's screw around. Now, this is going to infuriate everyone. maybe we go down to presidential republic first. How about that? No, we're staying in monarchy. People are getting real radical in my country right now, mostly from decreases in standard of living. So even welfare payments are not doing the trick anymore. It's getting bad out there, dude. Yeah, the cost of my welfare payments has become absurd. I'm gonna have to raise taxes again. Not good. Oh no. Which means I'm gonna have to pay more welfare. This is the exact kind of late game crisis that I play these games for. Oh dear. My economy is collapsing. Wait, why? Oh no. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Why is it collapsing? Are goods too cheap? People can't get paid? Maybe that's it. Let's try and export. If in doubt, export your problems to other economies. Are my people actually too productive? And they can't sustain? Is my economy about to collapse? I can't tell. It's scary. There's revolutions being organized. Things are about to get bad in Japan, boys. We reached the ceiling of no return. Also, I figured out that a lot of the performance issues were coming from allowing buildings to auto-expand. They take up a lot of CPU cycles trying to figure out if they should expand. So just turning that off actually massively increased the performance of the game. Oh God, welfare payments has just continued to climb. Not good. Continuing to climb, are we? If we check out the standard of living in my empire, my country, even my African holdings, they all have a way higher standard of living than the rest of the world. Even America, who's doing really, really well. We just dwarf them insanely well. There's a whole bunch of map modes we can check out here. We can look at the military map mode. We could look at global GDP, I believe it is. And you can see the more green a country is, the larger percentage of the global GDP it is. So you can see most countries are pretty, they have a little bit. And then you come over here to Japan, and my capital's making 120 million. Cultures. Okay, that's kind of cool. You can see a whole bunch of different cultures. You can see loyalists, where your loyalists are. I don't have a whole lot of those. You can see where your radicals are. I have a lot of those. I have a lot of radicals. My people are pissed off, and I'm not really sure how to solve that problem. Here's what we could do. We could invest in the police. Yeah. Maybe that's the piece I was missing all along. Was a dedicated police force to keep my population in line. I think though I've done my very best to try to get to 1 billion GDP, but the game is grinding to a halt. It's in the late game. There's only 8 years left. I think we successfully managed to achieve our objectives, which was to have a great time playing Victoria 3, learning the game mechanics, teaching the game mechanics. I'm really, really enjoying the game. Keep an eye out. I will be doing another playthrough. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.